Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like everybody to remain standing for a quick moment of silence to Dan Donofrio. Dan had passed away last week. He was a tremendous impact on our town. He was a successful businessman who had always given back to the many charities, not only in our town, but Ocean County. Our condolences to the Donofrio family. Okay, please be seated. This meeting is convened in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey. Let the official minutes reflect that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by publishing a notice in the Asbury Park Press on Friday, January 8, 2021, the Press of Atlantic City, and the Star Ledger, and also forwarded to the Toms River Times, Toms River Patch, and WOVM News on Wednesday, January 6, 2021, and thereafter posting same on the Town Hall Bulletin Board for such notices and filing same with the Township Clerk pursuant to a resolution adopted by the Township Council on Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. The meeting dates have also been posted on the Township webpage. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Here.
Councilman Kopp.
Here.
Councilman Lotano.
Here.
Councilman Roderick.
Here.
Councilman Turnbach.
Here.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Present.
Council President Gagan.
Here.
First item, the minutes of January 26, 2021.
Move the minutes.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
We have for honoring resolutions and presentations tonight a retirement from Public Works for Raymond Ligori.
Move the honoring resolutions and presentations.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Turnbach. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes. And Council, if you join me in the will, and I'm going to ask Business Administrator Lou Amoruso to do the presentation. Thank you.
Ray, would you like to come up? Ray Ligori? There you are. Good evening, everybody. Tonight we're here to honor Ray Ligori upon his retirement. Ray spent 33 years with the department, and I can tell you firsthand what a great guy he is. As I like to say, one of the good guys. You know, the Public Works team is more of a family, the work that they do, and all the times that we've spent together. You know, the tough times, the good times. It's a tough job. It's not a glamorous job, but it's something that's very important to the residents of Toms River. Ray's always done his job, a credit to himself and his family and the department. You know, Ray and I go back quite some time. The first time I think I ever saw Ray, I didn't know him. He was in uniform playing football for Toms River East under Pete Bush, class of 1984, right? 83, okay. But over the years, we've had a lot of fun, a lot of conversations about Toms River, going up through the school system, playing sports, a lot of people that we knew. Ray and my kid brother were friends years ago, and we're going to miss you, you know, but it's well earned, and you've done a great job, and I just want to thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the committee for this honor. I'd like to thank everybody from Public Works that came out and to share this with me. Public Works is a great department. I mean, the guys really bond together. We stick together. And I'm really going to miss the residents of Toms River that gave me the opportunity to serve them. And I thank the residents from the bottom of my heart for everything you do for us at Public Works. It's really important to have your support. And thank you.
Public Works, guys, want to come up for a quick picture? Or not? Ray, and here's your clock, and you know, I don't know why they give you a clock when you retire, but just trying to give you
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Continuing on with item number 7, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Final reading.
This is final reading. Any member of the public wish to be heard? Okay.
Seeing
Counsel.
none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final?
Second.
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilman Kopp. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
And Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 8, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 348-3.4 of the Township Code to revise certain zoning and engineering permit and application fees. Final reading.
Any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance? Any member?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion of this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Turnbach. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 9, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 383-5A4 of the Township Code to revise certain ice rink rental fees. Final reading.
Any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion of this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 10, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 325-3 Y and Z of the Township Code to revise the tea time lottery and handicapping fees for the Bailey Golf Course. Final reading.
Any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion of this ordinance.
Second.
Motion to, all in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final?
Second.
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilman Kopp. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 11 is an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing subsection M of Section 14, Employee Health Benefits, of Chapter 104, Employee Regulations and Benefits, to eliminate the health benefit waiver payment for certain township employees who receive health coverage through another township employee related by marriage or parentage. Final reading.
Any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final?
Second.
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilman Kopp. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 12, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 50-3 of the Township Code to revise certain positions within the Department of Law Enforcement. Final reading.
Any member of the public have any comments on this ordinance? Wish to be heard?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, second by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Abstain.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 13, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 48-5B of the Township Code to establish the position of Fire Subcode Official. Final reading.
Any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Lotano. Councilwoman Yurick?
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 14, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 175-10B of the Township Code to establish revised beach fees.
Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none.
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, second by Councilman Turnbach. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Council Vice President Maruka.
I just wanted to comment a little bit on this ordinance here. We are actually bringing our preseason and our in-season prices up comparable to our neighboring communities. Lavalette is at 50 and 60 for preseason and in-season. Seaside Park is at 60 and 65. Seaside Heights is at 45 and 60 and will be at 45 and 60. And I vote yes on this ordinance.
Council President Gagan.
This ordinance did have the support of the residents of Ortley Beach and the homeowners group. I vote yes.
Item 15, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 147, Salaries and Compensation, Schedule C, Supervisory Employees of the Township Code to establish the title and salary range for the position of Fire Subcode Official, and amending and supplementing Chapter 147, Salaries and Compensation, Schedule H, Confidential Employees of the Township Code to classify the position of Police Services Aide as full-time. This is a final reading.
Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion of this ordinance.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Council Vice President Maruka. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 16, ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 252-6 fee schedules of Chapter 252 Construction Code Uniform to establish various construction fees. Final reading.
Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Turnbach. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 17, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, authorizing the sale of Block 444, lots 78, 80, 82, and 151, and Block 394, lots 10 through 12, 45 through 47, 89, 94, 96, 97, 118, and 133, not needed for public use by the township, to the County of Ocean pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B1 for the sum of $1,880,000. This is a final reading.
Does any member of the public wish to be heard on this ordinance? Member?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion for this ordinance.
Second.
Move
All
the
in
ordinance-
favor?
Oh, sorry. All in favor, yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Move the ordinance on final?
Second.
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Item 18, a resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing various sections of Chapter 348. I'm sorry, this is an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Toms River, Ocean County, New Jersey, amending and supplementing various sections of Chapter 348, Land Use and Development Regulations, to revise regulations governing artisan distilleries and nano breweries in downtown Toms River. This is a first reading.
Move the ordinance on first.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Yurick, seconded by Councilman Turnbach. Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Next comes the consent agenda. All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately.
Okay, does any member of the public wish any item to be discussed separately? Does any member of the council wish any letter to be discussed separately?
I'd like a roll call on N and O.
A roll call on A as in Adam and O as in Ocean?
No, N as in Nancy, O. N and O.
N and O. Okay. All right, any other items to be discussed separately?
Move the remainder of the consent agenda?
Second?
The balance of the consent agenda, with the exceptions of items N and O, moved by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Yes.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes. Okay, if we can have a roll call vote on item N as in Nancy and then O as in Ocean, if someone wants
Move
to make.
item N?
Second?
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
No.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
Move item O?
Second?
Motion was made by Council Vice President Maruka, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
I just need a little clarification. I didn't hear the beginning. So the vote right now is on O?
Yes, that's what you had requested.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure whether or not we were doing N and O together. So if it's on O, then no, I vote no.
Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yeah, these two items, they're purchases for Public Works and Parks and Rec Department. You know, department heads come to us with different requests for purchasing. We meet a number of times, the Capital Committee, Finance Committee. In lieu of our past two storms, you know, people do forget about Public Works and Parks and Recs. You know, some of these pieces are just as important as an ambulance, a fire truck, a police car getting to you. With the heavy, wet snows, with tree limbs coming down, you know, they couldn't chip up the items. The other one, the grapple truck, that is used to move debris from storms. And again, you know, Public Works are just as important with emergency management and emergency services for the cleanup. And this will help our Public Works staff and Parks and Rec staff do their job better, safer, and I vote yes.
Next are the reports.
Move the reports?
Second?
Motion was made by Councilman Turnbach, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Yes.
Council Vice President Maruka.
Yes.
Council President Gagan.
Yes.
And next we have the bills.
Move the bill list?
Second?
Motion made by Councilman Turnbach, seconded by Councilwoman Yurick. Councilman Turnbach.
Abstain from PO 21-00436, payable to magistrates. I'm a local attorney in town. Have a conflict with the magistrates. Yes to the balance.
Councilwoman Yurick.
Abstain from PO 20-00569 and 21-00156, payable to Remington and Vernick Engineers, and PO 21-00206, payable to Rutgers University. Yes to the balance.
Councilman Kopp.
Yes.
Councilman Lotano.
Yes.
Councilman Roderick.
Going to abstain
From the entire bill list?
from the entire bill, yes.
Okay. Council Vice President Maruka.
Abstain to PO 21-00226, payable to Chamber of Commerce, and 21-00121, payable to NJMVC, and 21-00436, payable to the payroll item NJMVC lease program. I have a conflict. Yes to the balance.
And Council President Gagan.
Yes.
And next, we have elected officials' comments.
Okay, Mayor Hill.
Thank you, Council President. Again, want to extend my sympathies to the Donofrio family on Donato's passing. He was one of the leaders in our community, a local businessman, a philanthropist, supported numerous charities throughout the community, truly lived a life of service, and that's, I think, the highest compliment any of us can pay. It's not how much was in our bank account, but the lives we touched as we went through our journey, and Dan touched a lot of lives. And our thoughts are with his sons DJ and Steve and their families. Just a comment, we increased several user fees. These aren't taxes, they're user fees. They're paid for by people who use the services. For example, our construction department last year had a deficit of over $200,000. Now, the construction department is not by law supposed to make a profit, but the fees they charge are supposed to cover operations. We are still, by a large number, lower than our surrounding communities of Brick, Manchester, Jackson. In fact, our building fees are well over $1,000 lower than Jackson Township. Same with our ice rink, which lost money last year. A lot of it was due to the fact that we were closed, but we need to raise the fees to keep them in line with the other ice rinks in the area. And as Maria said, the beach fees hadn't been raised since Sandy, I believe. And again, that's an operation that if we don't at least offset some of the costs, it's going to be borne by the taxpayer in the long run. So again, I appreciate the council's moving forward on this. Nobody likes to raise fees, but we did it in, I think, a very prudent manner, and they're being assessed to the people who are going to use the fees, not to the taxpayer. Again, the $2,000 deficit in the construction department was essentially paid for by the taxpayers of this town, and the same thing with the ice rink. So again, the reason that we look at these fees every so often is to keep pace with our costs. I also want to thank the council and the commissioners of Ocean County on moving forward with the purchase of the surf club. That's our only chance to preserve property on the barrier island. The state is picking up roughly 90% of this cost. We have some maintenance costs, but the balance of this is being picked up by the state through Blue Acres and Green Acres, and I think it would have been foolish for us to pass on this opportunity. I will tell you that I asked our CFO an approximate amount of what the open space tax paid by the people on the barrier island, and it was well in excess of $2 million over the last 17 or so years that we've had the open space tax. So again, it's our last opportunity to preserve any space over there, and I want to thank the the commissioners, and also this council for moving forward on that. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Roderick.
Tonight, the council voted to both exceed the budget cap and to increase almost every fee in the township. As I've said before, we cannot continue to spend money we do not have on things we do not need. Each decision to do so has a direct impact on the taxpayers of this town, and residents cannot afford another tax increase, and they cannot afford higher fees. We are in the middle of a pandemic. We need to cut costs, not raise taxes and fees. That's all I have this evening.
Very good. No. Councilman Latano.
Thank you, Council President. Tonight, there were some fee increases. Nobody wants to raise fees. Unfortunately, like the mayor had said, without raising fees, the taxpayer has to subsidize these departments. Most of them are extremely specific. You saw a fee increase for the Bailey Golf Course. That is not for every golfer. It only affects a small amount of people using it. Again, without that, it falls on the taxpayer. The minimum wage increase directly affected the beach badge increase. So there's a lot of things that go into effect on it, and we're trying to have some of the fees try to balance out the expenses to run the departments. The bid has put together for downtown Toms River another wonderful summer of the dining in the street. I want to give a big thank you to Downs Ford, who has sponsored the event for the summer. Without Downs Ford, downtown Toms River could not put this back on like they did last year. So it's a big thing by Downs Ford. I also want to bring attention to the Mathis House at 600 Main. On February 25th, they're having a 1930s old Hollywood attire murder mystery. Ticket information is probably available on their website. One of the proprietors for Battle River is here. They want to say that every Monday night at 7:30, there's Quizaholics. It's a contactless trivia event. It's something fun to get people out and enjoying, the downtown Toms River. The Office Lounge on February 17th is having the 16th annual Phil Sitta Memorial Fundraiser at 11:30 a.m. So the Office Lounge will be donating 15% of their sales to the Phil Sitta Regional Cancer Community and Community Medical Center. That's all I have tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Kopp.
Thank you, Council President. So we voted on a lot of the fees tonight, as Mayor Hill said and Councilman Latano. Me being a resident in this town my whole life, along with a small business owner, I know firsthand, because I pay these fees. I paid them previously. I know as a contractor, these fees are, compared to what you normally pay in neighboring towns, extremely reasonable. Us increasing this helps protect the people that don't normally have to pay these fees, the non-contractors and our residents, and that's why tonight I supported it. Speaking on the downtown, I'm extremely excited to hear that the Toms River Bid is going to continue holding the Downtown Night Out. Thought it was a great community building event. We got a lot of our residents down there. It was great to see friends and family every weekend. And I'm also happy to hear that there's new applications going into the incubator downtown. One of the big things is support your local businesses. Me being a small business owner myself, I know how important it is to have the backing of our residents behind a small business, and I always make sure to try and support these businesses, especially the new and up-and-coming businesses in our downtown district. And that's all, Council President. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Maruka?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
I just want to speak about an event that took place on Friday, January 29th, over at the beach area. There was a power outage due to an electrical line, one power line falling on top of another one, which an event led to a power outage in most of Ortley Beach. I just want to thank the volunteer fire companies, especially Ortley Ocean Beach Fire Company, our OEM, our first responders, and JCP&L for acting swiftly and averting what could have been much greater than just a power outage there. When they regenerized the island, there was a power surge which blew out about 50 meters on homes, on residents in the southern part of Ortley Beach. At that point, we were able to reach out to the Homeowners Association of Ortley Beach, the Voters and Taxpayers Association, and also Surf Cottages, because 50 homes that probably weren't, most of them weren't occupied at this time of the year, was a yeoman's task to get them notified. And to have electricians come on in and check out their service before JCP&L could regenerize everything there. So they had crews up and down Ortley Beach till the wee hours of the morning. They were there the next day. Command Center was there till, I would say, fairly late on Friday evening. And our rep from JCP&L, John Meehan, was available 24/7. I know the mayor, myself, our business administrator, and OEM were over there on Friday evening there. But I'd just like to thank everyone, first responders that were involved, and also the homeowners associations that were able to help us contact as many people as possible. This past weekend, we had a storm come up and really sat over us for 3 days and really did a job on eroding our beaches over there. There was beaches along the coast were hit. Particularly, I think there were 7 or 8 that were hit the worst. And in Ocean County, it seems to have been Bayhead, Ortley Beach, and some towns down on Long Beach Island. Council President, would you mind if I asked Mr. Chinkalian just to come up and give us a brief update? I know we don't have much of the details, but Bob, if you can just go over a generalization of what the township has done and responses we're waiting on from different government agencies.
Thank you.
Yes, my office has gone down. We've walked all the beaches. We've documented every walkover and the lost sand. We've been in contact. We've been in contact with the DEP Coastal Engineering. As most of you know, the governor has petitioned the Army Corps of Engineers to come back and do a renourishment project. While we're hoping for that, we're planning for that not to happen. Again, I would love, it's most efficient for them to come in and pump the sand in like they did by barge. If in the case that doesn't work, we're also working on a backup plan where unfortunately we may bring in sand, repair the walkovers, some damaged mats, the fences, snow fence, and the walkovers. So if that doesn't happen, we'll be ready.
Okay, so Tom's River has a backup plan if the Army Corps and the DEP does not come in. I know the mayor was on the phone with the governor's office also, correct, Mayor Hill? And so we are in contact with all the state agencies and the federal agencies, and we're just waiting on them to make their determination. And if it comes down to it and they do not have a positive outlook for it, Tom's River will be able to rectify the damage as best they can. Something we don't really, want to have to expend the money to, but we will, to make sure that our beaches are operational and safe and secure for our summer season. And last but not least, I would like to offer my condolences to the Donofrio family. Dan Donofrio really left his mark here in Toms River and Ocean County. He owned many businesses. He has his corporate offices here, but he was a man of giant stature, but I said of simple means. Dan always championed the underdog. He always contributed to so many charities, whether it be Boy Scout, whether it be the hospital. He had an affinity for our police department. I know they've purchased canine dogs and things of that nature and stuff like that. So he will be greatly missed, but the mark and his legacy will live on in Toms River and Ocean County. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hurek?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to remind everybody to continue to order from your local restaurants. The Dine Small campaign is really important because, of course, many businesses have been hit during the pandemic, but the dining business has been particularly hard hit. So not being able to have their full capacity indoors, especially during the winter months, is really difficult for them to keep the doors open. So keep ordering out, keep getting delivery, keep going getting curbside. And also wanted to, Councilman Latano mentioned several things happening downtown, but there's also one from Exit 82 that it's called Love is a Drag, so it's for Valentine's Day weekend. And yes, they are having a drag show. So last year they did by television or by web. So to keep it safe, this year they're going to do something similar to what they did for the Rocky Horror Show. They're going to have 2 venues. It's split times, masks. So it'll be nice and safe. And they are very, very funny, I gotta say. So adult entertainment only, don't bring your kids. And then Mandoli's, don't miss your opportunity to get a Smash Heart, which is chocolate on the outside and all kinds of goodies on the inside for your Valentine this year. So, and that is all I have today.
Well, I think that's enough. Councilman Turnback.
I echo the comments of Councilman Latano and Councilwoman York with regard to our downtown Valentine's Day weekend. Whether it's dining in the streets in the spring or summer, downtown right now, there's a lot of fun with the brewery, the distillery, restaurants. It's Valentine's Day weekend, so please go out and support your local businesses in your downtown here in Toms River. On Saturday, January 30th, I had an opportunity to spend the night outside here of Town Hall to try and raise awareness with regard to the lack of a transitional housing center here in Ocean County for our homeless. And I want to thank a lot of people. I want to thank our mayor and council for coming out in support. I want to thank the Toms River Police Department for being there all night and being with us and showing your support and the donations you made to Just Believe Incorporated. I want to thank the Ocean County Sheriff's Department for coming out, and the Ocean County Sheriff's Department brought out food because they had asked the residents of our warming center to join us. So the night was a success from the standpoint that we raised awareness of an issue and we raised conversation, and conversations have started. So I'm proud to say that Commissioners Quinn and Commissioner Haynes have already had a meeting with us to discuss how we can address this important issue. So the night was successful in its mission. We raised the proper awareness, and I think we're well on our way to addressing this issue and having a transitional housing center that operates year-round here in Ocean County. I want to single out one officer of the Toms River Police Department that I got to meet that night. And I've known Officer Paul Hemus. I've obviously seen him around, but we had a lot of discussions that night about the homeless. And what impressed me about Officer Paul Hemus, he works down here in this zone, works the night shift for the Toms River Police Department, and he was aware of the different residents. He would talk to me about residents that are sleeping in their car on Iron Street, or residents that spend their nights here down on the steps of Town Hall. When you go out the back, there's actually a stairway down, and there's electric. And it just, he very much impressed me. And I was working the food distribution the following Friday, and we had individuals pulling up to that food distribution, and those were the homeless residents that Officer Paul Hemus was talking about. And Officer Paul Hemus had sent them to get food. The following Saturday, just this past weekend, I got a call from one of those residents that was so thankful for Officer Paul Hemus getting them the food and introducing them to Code Blue. And we were out here on Saturday night. We were right down here in the back of Town Hall, and sure enough, there was an individual that was trying to spend the night out there, and it was Officer Paul Hemus that came up and convinced him to get in the van to Just Believe and get some warmth. So we've got a lot of great officers in this town, in the police department, the sheriff's department, but I really commend Officer Paul Hemus for his community policing. He's making a difference, and he should be recognized by his department and by the council. That's all I have.
Very, very good. Again, not to reiterate what each and every council person, the mayor said, but there's a lot of teamwork that goes on before these meetings, and a lot of decisions that are come to that we finally vote on here. I don't want to rehash everything, but at this point, we'll open up the floor for public comment. Yes, sir. Yes, step up. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Take my mask off, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive, currently in Brick. Just wanted to make a couple points. First, I wanted to agree with Councilwoman Herrick about the importance of supporting local businesses. I had a great tiramisu about a month ago over at Capone's. And it's really sad seeing a lot of restaurants that dead. I mean, I go in the restaurant and they're like, the wait service staff is fighting to serve me. So, because it's so dead. But it's very important. They're really the backbone of all of economies starting at the local level. And Councilman Turnback, I wanted to thank you for bringing awareness to the homeless issue, because I did bring this up at Ocean County Freeholder meeting about 2 months ago, and they weren't too sure about the warming centers, but it is good to see you making awareness of that important issue. And I came in late, but I did want to say that I want to compliment your Public Works Department. I am a delivery driver for DoorDash, and the roads were really well plowed, salted, sanded, salted, so it was very easy for me to drive for DoorDash, and your department does really great work. All of your employees that I've had contact with over the years in Toms River has always done a great job, and I want to thank you for that. That's all. Thank you.
Good. I'm happy we can give them the tools to do their job. I'm happy we can give them the tools to do their job.
Yeah, they did do great job. Where I was, I don't know about other areas, but Silver Town is really good.
Very good. Thank you. Does any other member of the public wish to be heard?
Seeing none, I move to close the public comments portion of this meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right. I'm going to ask the audience, we are actually holding our executive session in this room, so we will have to ask everybody to, vacate the room within the next couple moments so we can conduct that meeting. Thank you.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances to discuss matters requiring confidentiality and/or of a privileged nature. And whereas the Township Council is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Toms River in the County of Ocean and State of New Jersey as follows. The Township Council will now conduct a private executive session. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed and/or acted upon is as follows.
Okay, that would be 15.
The executive session minutes review of January 12th, 2021, the personnel issues of the clerk's office and administration, and review of all status of real property acquisitions. The following specific items to be discussed and/or acted upon are as follows. The executive session minutes review of January 12th, 2021, personnel issues of the clerk's office and administration, and review of status of all property acquisitions. It is anticipated that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Council that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. Motion to go into executive session was moved by Councilwoman York, seconded by Councilman Turnbach, with all in favor at 6:47 p.m.
Okay. We'll do...
Okay. I believe it's working. Test. Do I have a motion to go back into public session?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to adopt the executive session minutes of January 26, 2021?
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Yorick, seconded by Councilman Turnbach. Councilwoman Yorick. Yes. Councilman Turnbach.
Yes.
Councilman Kopp. Councilman Lotano. Yes. Councilman Turnbach. Oh, excuse me. Council Vice President Maruka. Yes. Council President Gagan.
Yes.
And do I have a motion to?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
9 p.m. on the dot.